Imagine a moment so powerful, a simple act that transforms everything. It's not the big gestures that make the difference, it's the small, intimate ones. A touch, a look, a gesture that speaks more than words ever could. It's that one moment when you connect with another person, not just on the surface, but deep within. And in that instant, something changes. It's the moment when they realize you are the one they've been waiting for, the one they will never let go. Human connection is the essence of what makes us truly alive. It's what defines us as individuals, yet also binds us together as a collective. In a world filled with distractions, technology, and endless noise, it can sometimes feel like we are drifting further away from each other. But deep down, we all crave something fundamental, real, authentic connection with another human being. We are hardwired for connection. It's in our DNA. It's the reason why we seek relationships, friendships, families, and communities. We don't just live to exist, we live to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. It's a basic need, just like food, water, or shelter. Without connection, we feel lonely, isolated, and adrift in a world that often feels too fast, too impersonal, and too detached. But the power of connection lies in its simplicity. It's not about having endless conversations or being constantly surrounded by people. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about finding those moments of genuine understanding where we don't need to speak to communicate, where we simply know the other person. It's about that one touch, whether it's a gentle hand on a shoulder, a knowing glance across the room, or a moment of quiet companionship where words are unnecessary that has the power to bridge the gap between two souls. Human connection doesn't come from grand, over-the-top gestures. It comes from small, thoughtful acts that demonstrate you care. It's in the details, the way you listen, the way you respond with empathy, the way you show up for someone in their time of need. These moments, these touches are what build trust and understanding. They are the building blocks of deep relationships. When you make a connection with someone, you are allowing them to see you, not just your surface, not just the version of you that you show the world, but your true, authentic self. And in doing so, you are giving them permission to be authentic too. It's a reciprocal act of vulnerability, a dance of mutual trust. When this happens, there's no need for words. The connection itself says everything. It's an understanding that transcends language, culture, and experience. It's the kind of connection that makes you feel like you're not alone in the world, that makes you feel truly known. And this is where the power of human connection lies. It's in the way we make each other feel. When someone truly connects with us, when they see us for who we really are, when they understand us at a level deeper than the surface, it's transformative. It creates a space of safety, trust, and intimacy. And in that space, we don't just want to be around the other person, we want to belong to them. We want to be a part of their life. We want to share in their journey. It's this type of connection that makes a person feel like they are yours forever, not because of some superficial gesture, but because of the depth of the bond that's been created. Human connection is not something that can be forced or rushed. It takes time to build trust, to establish understanding, to cultivate empathy. But once it's formed, once that bond is made, it's not easily broken. In fact, it lasts for a lifetime. The one touch, the one moment of vulnerability, the one act of understanding can change everything. It's in these quiet moments that we create lasting relationships that are not bound by time or circumstance, but by the unspoken truth that we see each other for who we truly are. In a world that increasingly values expertise, intelligence, and the accumulation of knowledge, it's easy to forget one of the most powerful and transformative tools we have as human beings: empathy. We often equate knowledge with authority, with success, and with the ability to lead or to influence others. But in reality, it's empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, that creates the deepest and most lasting connections. Knowledge is important. It enables us to solve problems, innovate, and navigate the world in ways that are practical and useful. It's the bedrock of progress, and no one would deny its importance. But knowledge on its own can be impersonal. It can be theoretical, abstract, and at times disconnected from the human experience. A well-rounded understanding of facts, concepts, and techniques is undoubtedly valuable, but it doesn't always have the power to connect us on a deeper emotional level. Empathy, on the other hand, is something far more personal. It's not about understanding facts or having the right answer. It's about understanding feelings. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, feeling their pain, their joy, their hopes, and their fears. Empathy allows us to reach across the chasm that divides us and bridge the gap between our individual experiences. It makes us more human. It reminds us that at our core, we all have similar needs and desires, and we all long to feel seen, heard, and understood. Empathy doesn't require you to be an expert in a field. You don't need to have all the answers. In fact, sometimes knowing too much can be a barrier to truly connecting with others. When you're focused solely on what you know, it's easy to miss what others are experiencing. You may be so wrapped up in offering solutions or demonstrating your expertise that you overlook the emotional needs of the person you're speaking with. Empathy flips that script. It asks you to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. It invites you to put your own knowledge aside, even momentarily, and open yourself up to the raw human emotions of another. Consider for a moment a time when you've been in need, perhaps struggling, feeling vulnerable, or facing a challenge. Did you need someone to lecture you or tell you how to fix things? Or did you simply need someone who could sit with you, who could listen, and who could acknowledge the depth of your experience? Most of us would agree that in these moments, empathy is far more valuable than knowledge. It's the understanding that someone sees you for who you are in that moment of struggle, not as a project to be fixed, but as a human being worthy of care and compassion. Empathy is transformative because it recognizes that people are more than just problems to be solved. They are emotional beings with complex inner worlds, experiences, and histories. When we respond with empathy, we acknowledge their humanity. We validate their feelings. This is what builds trust, respect, and genuine connection. Knowledge might allow us to fix something, but empathy allows us to heal. And healing, as any of us who have experienced it knows, is often a much deeper, more meaningful process than simply solving a problem. It's important to note that empathy doesn't diminish the value of knowledge. In fact, the two can complement each other in powerful ways. Knowledge can inform empathy. It can help us understand the context of someone's situation or provide insight into their struggles. But empathy brings that knowledge to life. It gives it a human face. It turns facts into real, lived experiences. And when we combine knowledge with empathy, we have the power to not only solve problems, but to create lasting change, to offer support, and to make a real difference in someone's life. The most influential leaders, the most beloved friends, and the most trusted partners are often those who lead with empathy, not knowledge. They understand that success isn't just about achieving goals or accumulating accolades. It's about making people feel valued, heard, and understood. These leaders inspire not because they have all the answers, but because they know how to listen, to offer support, and to demonstrate a deep understanding of the human experience. Empathy is what allows us to navigate the complexities of human relationships. It's what helps us to truly be present for one another, especially in times of difficulty. It's what transforms simple interactions into deep, meaningful connections that have the power to last a lifetime. And it's what enables us to build communities, workplaces, and societies where people feel safe, respected, and valued not just for what they know, but for who they are. Ultimately, the importance of empathy over knowledge is not about devaluing one in favor of the other. It's about recognizing that while knowledge is essential for understanding the world, it is empathy that allows us to understand each other. In the end, it's our ability to connect on a human level, to share our experiences and emotions with one another that creates relationships that are not only meaningful, but enduring. And this is what makes empathy, not knowledge, the true cornerstone of connection. Commitment is often viewed as a promise or a declaration. We say we are committed to something, to a person, to a cause, or to a goal. It sounds like a firm decision, a vow made with intention. But the truth is that commitment is not something that can merely be spoken. It is something that must be demonstrated through consistent action. True commitment is not just a promise you make in the moment, it's the sustained effort you put forth over time. It's the choices you make every single day, no matter how small, that reflect your dedication to that promise. Too often, we view commitment as something intangible and abstract ideal that exists only in words. We talk about commitment in the context of relationships, careers, and aspirations, but it's easy to forget that words alone do not create lasting change or establish trust. Commitment requires action. It requires us to show up, to do the work, and to put in the effort even when it's not easy, when it's inconvenient, or when we don't feel like it. At its core, commitment through action is about consistency. It's about showing someone through what you do, not just what you say that you are there for them. It's about proving that your dedication is not fleeting, but enduring. It's easy to commit when things are going well, when the path is clear, and when there's no resistance. But true commitment is demonstrated when the road is tough, when obstacles arise, and when things aren't going as planned. In relationships, this is especially true. It's easy to promise loyalty, love, and support when everything is perfect. But when challenges arise, when misunderstandings occur, or when life gets difficult, that's when commitment truly matters. It's in these moments that we see the power of action. Saying I love you or I'm here for you means nothing if the actions don't align with those words. Actions like listening with empathy, supporting each other's dreams, and offering a hand in times of struggle are the true markers of commitment. These actions are what strengthen relationships and build trust over time. When we commit to someone or something, we are saying that we will invest our time, energy, and resources even when it requires sacrifice. We are saying that we will prioritize that person or cause above our own convenience, and that we will not walk away when things get tough. Commitment through action is about doing the hard things, the things that require effort and persistence. It's about putting the needs of others ahead of our own desires, even when it's not easy, and choosing to stick with the process when the results aren't immediate or guaranteed. In a professional context, commitment through action means demonstrating your dedication to your work, your team, and your mission by consistently showing up and doing your best. It's about taking ownership, being accountable, and going the extra mile even when no one is watching. It's about delivering on promises, meeting deadlines, and following through on tasks, no matter how insignificant they may seem at the time. True commitment in the workplace isn't just about saying you're dedicated to the company's success. It's about actively contributing to that success day after day. It's the small actions like offering help to a colleague, going beyond the minimum expectations, and taking initiative that show your true commitment. Commitment through action is also about perseverance. It's about staying the course, even when progress feels slow or when results aren't immediate. We all face challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. It's in these times that our commitment is truly tested. Do we give up at the first sign of difficulty, or do we continue to push forward, knowing that the end result is worth the struggle? Commitment through action is what keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear or the journey is longer than we expected. One of the most powerful aspects of commitment through action is that it creates momentum. The more you act on your commitments, the more those actions build upon each other, creating a cycle of trust, growth, and progress. Each action, no matter how small, compounds over time and brings you closer to your goals, your relationships, and your dreams. It's the consistent daily efforts that lead to long-term success, whether that success is personal or professional. It's about building habits, making choices, and taking steps every single day that reflect your dedication to what matters most to you. In a world where complexity often reigns, relationships stand out as one of the few aspects of life where simplicity has profound value. We live in an age of constant distractions, expectations, and pressures. Our lives are filled with the noise of social media, fast-paced careers, and constant movement. But when it comes to building and sustaining meaningful relationships, simplicity is not just refreshing, it is essential. In relationships, the most profound connections often come from the simplest gestures. It's not about grand displays of affection or elaborate gestures of love. It's about understanding that the deepest connections are made not through complexity, but through honesty, consistency, and small, meaningful actions. The beauty of simplicity in relationships is that it allows us to focus on what truly matters: the emotional bond, mutual respect, and the genuine understanding between two people. When we strip away the excess, we are left with what really counts: the connection itself. Too often, we complicate relationships by trying to meet unrealistic expectations or by overthinking every interaction. We get caught up in making everything perfect, in curating the ideal moments, or in trying to be someone we think others want us to be. This creates unnecessary stress, misunderstandings, and confusion, but true connection doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require us to be flawless or to present an image of who we think we should be. It requires us to show up as we are, to be vulnerable, authentic, and real. In the simplicity of being ourselves, we invite the other person to do the same. And it is in this shared vulnerability that the most powerful relationships are built. In relationships, simplicity means removing the need for pretense or performance. It's about being open and honest with each other without the fear of judgment. Simple conversations where we speak from the heart are often more meaningful than the most carefully planned exchanges. The best moments in a relationship come when you don't have to try so hard, when the connection flows naturally, and when you don't feel the need to impress or overanalyze. It's in these moments that we find true intimacy, the kind that doesn't need to be forced, but instead comes effortlessly through time spent together and mutual care. Simplicity in relationships also means focusing on quality over quantity. In our fast-paced world, we often think that more is better. More conversations, more time together, more gifts, more displays of affection. But the truth is that the most meaningful relationships are not defined by the sheer volume of time or effort, but by the depth of the connection. A simple act of kindness, a quiet moment of understanding, or a shared experience that speaks to the heart can have more impact than any extravagant gesture. Simplicity allows us to appreciate the small things that matter without getting lost in the noise of expectations. One of the most beautiful things about simplicity in relationships is the space it creates for presence. In a world filled with distractions, being present with someone truly present can feel like a rare gift. Simple moments like listening attentively to someone's thoughts, enjoying a peaceful walk together, or simply sitting in silence can foster a deeper connection than any complex or busy interaction. It is in these moments that we are able to fully engage with each other without the interruptions of external pressures. The act of being truly present allows us to connect at a deeper level without the need for anything extra. Simplicity also means understanding that relationships are not about constant excitement or perfection. They are about being there for each other through the ups and downs, through the quiet moments and the loud ones. We often mistakenly believe that love and connection must be grand, filled with constant intensity or drama. But in reality, the most fulfilling relationships are often those where we find contentment in simplicity, in shared routines, and mutual support, in small everyday actions that show we care. The beauty of simplicity lies in its consistency. It's the repeated acts of kindness, the steady presence, and the unspoken understanding that build the foundation of a lasting relationship. In a simplified relationship, there is also room for growth. Complexity often arises when we overthink or create unnecessary expectations. In contrast, simplicity gives us the freedom to be ourselves, to learn from each other, and to evolve without the pressure of conforming to external standards. A simple relationship allows both partners to grow, to challenge each other, and to support each other's development without the weight of unrealistic demands. It fosters an environment of trust and acceptance where both people feel secure enough to be vulnerable and to change. There is also a freedom that comes with simplicity in relationships. It frees us from the need to constantly prove our worth, to chase external validation, or to measure up to societal standards. When we simplify our relationships, we shift the focus from the superficial to the meaningful. We no longer need to compare ourselves to others or perform in ways that are not true to who we are. Instead, we create space for honest connection, where love and affection are not dependent on external factors, but are rooted in genuine mutual care. The simplicity of a relationship doesn't mean it is shallow or lacking depth. On the contrary, it means that the relationship is built on a foundation of real understanding, trust, and connection. Simplicity allows us to go beyond the noise and distractions, focusing on what really matters, the people we care about, and the quality of the time we spend with them. It encourages us to appreciate the small moments, to cherish the simple acts of kindness, and to find beauty in the everyday exchanges that create deep, meaningful bonds. In the end, it is clear that the power of simplicity in relationships is not just about removing complexity, it's about embracing the essence of what it means to truly connect with another person. Relationships are not built on grand gestures or elaborate displays of affection, but on consistent, simple acts of kindness, understanding, and presence. It is in the quiet moments, the small gestures, and the genuine care we show that the foundation of a deep, meaningful relationship is laid. Simplicity allows us to be authentic, to shed the pressures of perfection, and to focus on what truly matters: mutual respect, emotional connection, and shared vulnerability. It reminds us that we don't need to overcomplicate or strive for constant excitement to experience love, trust, and companionship. Instead, we can focus on being present, appreciating the little things, and investing in the quality of our interactions rather than the quantity or grandeur. By embracing simplicity, we open ourselves up to the richness of true connection, one that isn't based on expectations or the noise of the outside world, but on a deep understanding of one another's humanity. And in this simplicity, we discover the timeless truth that the most powerful relationships are the ones built on authenticity, consistency, and the quiet strength of being there for each other through it all. Ultimately, simplicity in relationships is not about doing less, it is about doing more of what truly matters. And in doing so, we create bonds that are not only lasting, but profoundly fulfilling relationships that, in their simplicity, become the most meaningful parts of our lives